Gertrude Jekyll Itzi, G. Kell, 29 November 1843, 8 December 1932, was a British horticulturist, garden designer, craftswoman, photographer, writer, and artist. She created over 400 gardens in the United Kingdom, Europe, and the United States, and wrote over 1,000 articles for magazines such as Country Life and William Robinson's The Garden. Jekyll has been described as a premier influence in garden design by British and American garden enthusiasts. Jekyll was born at 2 Grafton Street, Mayfair, London, the fifth of the 7 children of Captain Edward Joseph Hill Jekyll, an officer in the Grenadier Guards, and his wife Julia, née Hammersley. In 1848, her family left London and moved to Bramley House in Surrey, where she spent her formative years. She never married and had no children. Her younger brother, Walter Jekyll, an Anglican priest, sometime minor canon of Worcester Cathedral and chaplain of Malta, was a friend of Robert Louis Stevenson, who borrowed the family name for his 1886 novella, Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Jekyll was one half of one of the most influential and historical partnerships of the arts and crafts movement, thanks to her association with the English architect Edwin Lutyens, for whose projects she created numerous landscapes and who designed her home Munstead Wood near Godalming in Surrey. In 1900, Lutyens and Jekyll's brother Herbert designed the British Pavilion for the Paris Exposition. Jekyll is remembered for her outstanding designs and subtle painterly approach to the arrangement of the gardens she created, particularly her hardy flower border. Her work is known for its radiant color and the brush-like strokes of her plantings. It is suggested by some that the impressionistic style schemes may have been due to Jekyll's deteriorating eyesight, which largely put an end to her career as a painter and watercolorist. Her artistic ability had been evident when she was a child, and she had trained as an artist. She was one of the first of her profession to take into account the color, texture, and experience of gardens as aspects of her designs. Jekyll's theory of how to design with color was influenced by painter J.M.W. Turner and by Impressionism and by the theoretical color wheel. Her focus on gardening began at South Kensington School of Art, where she became interested in the creative art of planting, and more specifically, gardening. Jekyll later returned to her childhood home in the village of Bramley to design a garden in Snowdenham Lane called Milne. Not wanting to limit her influence to teaching the practice of gardening, Jekyll incorporated in her work the theory of gardening and an understanding of the plants themselves. Her writing was influenced by her friend Teresa Earle, who had published her potpourri books in works like Color Schemes for the Flower Garden, reprinted 1988. She put her imprint on modern uses of warm and cool flower colors in gardens. Her concern that plants should be displayed to best effect even when cut for the house led her to design her own range of glass flower vases. Later in life, Jekyll collected and contributed a vast array of plants solely for the purpose of preservation to numerous institutions across Britain. At the time of her death, she had designed over 400 gardens in Britain, Europe, and a few in North America. Jekyll was also known for her prolific writing. She wrote over 15 books ranging from wood and garden, and her most famous book, Color in the Flower Garden, to memoirs of her youth. She was also interested in traditional cottage furnishings and rural crafts and concerned that they were disappearing. Her book, Old West Surrey, 1904, records many aspects of 19th century country life with over 300 photographs taken by Jekyll. From 1881, when she laid out the gardens for Munstead House, built for her mother by John James Stevenson, Jekyll provided designs or planned planting for some 400 gardens. More than half were directly commissioned, but many were created in collaboration with architects such as Lutyens and Robert Lorimer. Most of her gardens are lost. A small number have been restored, including her own garden at Munstead Wood, the gardens of Hestercombe House, and those of Wolverstone House and the Manor House in Upton Gray that she designed for the magazine editor Charles Hope. Hestercombe Gardens, Jekyll's restored long border at Upton Gray Manor House, Hampshire Hestercombe Gardens. The Lutyens designed Bench Lindisfarne Castle Hestercombe Gardens. Borrowed scenery. Jekyll was awarded the Victoria Medal of Honor of the Royal Horticultural Society in 1897 and the Village Memorial Medal of the Society in 1929. Also, in 1929, she was given the George Robert White Medal of Honor of the Massachusetts Horticultural Society. Jekyll was buried in the churchyard of S. John the Baptist, Busbridge, Godalming, next to her brother Herbert Jekyll and his wife, the artist, writer, and philanthropist Dame Agnes Jekyll. The Jekyll family memorial was designed by Edwin Lutyens. In 1907, Jekyll donated her collection of traditional household items and objects relating to Old Surrey to the Surrey Archaeological Society. Much of this donation is still on display at Guildford Museum. In 1911, the Corporation of Guildford built an extension to the museum to house the collection. Some artifacts associated with her life and work are also housed there. On 29 November 2017, which would have been Jekyll's 174th birthday, a Google Doodle was released honoring her. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to please like and subscribe. If you have a topic you would like to suggest, leave a comment.